Yeah, I'm your Black Lex today, baby. Now you ain't never gotta like me, that shit is overrated. You need a hero to love, I'll be the villain that you hated. When it's all said and done, you gon' love me. Me kissing babies, fucking ladies thinking of me. Cause I'm the villain, the bad guy, the one that's supposed to lose. But I'm American, baby, so the rules all skewed for me. Steal your identity, fuck up your credit for free. Police know it's stolen, but they still make you pay the fee. And you don't respect me, for real? I'm the one that's showing you what the real world is. All these backroom deals for your kids' future. My financial aid hustle keep your kids mooching. And while you motherfuckers still stupid, the Statue of Liberty married the country, divorced and now the bitch still moving. With half of the money, alimony, child support. You know what's up when I be winning in the court, cause I'm the villain, the bad guy, the numero uno, the one that y'all hate to see. Cause I'm the big dog, the head honcho, H&I-C, everybody wants to be. Damn right, I'm the villain, the bad guy, the numero uno, the one that y'all hate to see. Cause I'm the big dog, the head honcho, H&I-C, everybody wants to be. They try to tell me thou shalt not steal. In the same church they tell me Jesus white, is they for real? They try to say the land of the free, minus the slavery, plus the fact that you pay for land these folks stole for free. And you wanna be Superman. Did you forget that Lex Luthor became the president? You lacking common sense, that's why the villain lives. That's why the villain's right. They turn on Superman, man, they turn on Jesus Christ. Even the devil got teams, like Arizona State, Duke, the state of Jersey. That man say you're sold and he can't get a jersey. Y'all go to church on Sunday and you claim you're worthy. That's why I got my credit and I'm charging 10%. You finish paying me and you gon' pay me triple, bitch. So why'd I be a hero when a villain gets paid? And women like paid, so the villain gets laid. So I'ma be the villain, the bad guy, the numero uno, the one that y'all hate to see. Cause I'm the big dog, the head honcho, H&I-C, everybody wants to be. Damn right, I'm the villain, the bad guy, the numero uno, the one that y'all hate to see. Cause I'm the big dog, the head honcho, H&I-C, everybody wants to be.
What's up, y'all? Shout out to everybody. um, if you see the thumbnail, you're gonna see where what I'm talking about initially. So I see a country burning, right? So this is what I see when I observe America. A lot of times, I don't. Before I would talk about a topic, I would chill out. I would watch. I would observe. I would see what's going on, and then I have something to say. And let life live a little bit. And what I see, is something that's been in the making for a long time, you know. And what I want to do is talk about it in a few different aspects. You know what I mean? So the first thing I'm going to talk about is politically. So honestly, I think politics and people who like politics and people who play politics, they're pretty much stupid people. Because they're not talking politics. They're just, I'm on this side and I'm using this political agenda to say that I'm better than you. What's better? A racial thing. So here's the thing. Why I say that is this. When people say they're into politics, I'm like, okay, doesn't matter which side you're on, Democrat, Republican, doesn't matter. What winds up happening is this. one party does something that can benefit the whole country when they're in power. When the other party gets a chance to get in power, they demolish. So, and this is what I mean is when there's something that somebody proposed and signed into law and it became a bill, it became part of our American, lives. If it's working for the American people and the whole of society, why would you destroy it? Oh, I know why you would destroy it, because your party didn't do it. So it's always been a constant tit for tat. See, American politics doesn't throw out the things that don't work and keep the things that do work. They throw out the things that do work and keep the things that don't work. So this is why you see people all the time, whether when Democrats are in power, people go, yeah, man, my party, these are my people. And then they get quiet because this is not what I voted for. Right, right. And then same thing when you get the Republicans in power. People go, this is my country, this is who I voted for. We're in power now. And then as the time passes, they get quiet and they start going, this is not what I voted for. You don't know what you voted for. You voted for a fantasy. You grown as men and women still playing this fantasy game like they're gonna look out for me personally and my people. They don't care about you. They don't care about your family. They care about getting kickbacks. And like I said, everything that worked, they threw out. And even when you get to the people who become political pundits and people who believe in the politics, they can't tell you. They go silent when they say, these are the things your party did wrong. Well, let's blame the other side. But they can't. But when but let me pause. I'm getting ahead of myself. But when a party does something right, they can't point that out like my party did this right and the Democrats shot it down when they got a chance. My party did this right, and the Republicans shot it down when they get a chance, because y'all not smart enough to have a damn memory to remember what you did right. That's why it's dumb. That's why the country winds up never. That's why the country constantly doesn't progress. That's why I said earlier racism was always a part of politics, because that's the only thing that kept progressing. That's the only thing that kept progressing. We need to make sure that we're here as a race and everybody else is here as a race. And we're going to set up all of these little BS games and what do you call that? And obstacles to make sure we have a racial hierarchy. Congratulations. You got that. You played the game, this is the right wing, this is the left wing, and people say it's the same bird. I really don't give a fuck. It's ineffective. It's gonna continue to be ineffective. And you should understand that, because for the most part, you're voting for stupid people who don't have a plan. They just have talking points. They don't have a plan. And most of the plans that we have is most of the times people get involved in politics is, yeah, you know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna make sure them other people don't get something. That don't mean you're gonna get anything though. You stupid mother. But that's the problem. This is why I say, this is what I observe when I see America. It's burning. It's on fire. And the people who set the fire, the people who keep setting fires in America are the very people who can't put them out. You get what I'm saying? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna become a politician, and what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tell the people I'm gonna do something for them, and you know what I'm gonna do after that? I'm gonna fire the fire department. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, because I don't like firefighters because when I was 25, I failed the test and I couldn't be one. So now I'm a politician and I'm fired of firefighters. Yeah. And then, you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to set fires everywhere. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And then the city going to burn down. And I'm going to go, where were the firefighters to put it out? You fired them all. Huh? That doesn't mean the city is supposed to burn. Dumb people. Continuously dumb people. So then, you know, and I say that because, you know, politics is just reality TV. And reality TV is reality TV. But you know what else is reality TV? Social media. And what I observe in social media is we gravitate to stupid stuff. We've always gravitated to stupid stuff. You get what I'm saying? But now what happens is stupid stuff gets so much views, we're on our phone ingesting stupid stuff. That's what's going on. We're taking idiot behavior all the time. So now you got to ask the question, like, hold up. Because people go, it's my algorithm. No, it's not your algorithm. It's you. It's you. That's what you like. You know, we like to laugh, and that's fun. That's fine. We like to laugh, have fun, yada yada yada. But when it comes to knowing any real things in life, people aren't as informative as they once were. Social media just made everybody stupid. People, they're rage baiting, but you keep falling for it. So they rage baiting you, but you falling for the bait all the time. You don't never go, you know what? I don't need to do this. I don't need to fall for this. Oh, you know, now we're playing this game where, oh man, you know, it became rap. You know, in the 90s and 2000s, early 2000s, where man, you know, you got to go to the underground to see some good stuff. And now, you know, as you look at the music landscape, all the horrible artists are what's happening. All the horrible artists are mainstream, and all the good artists are underground. And somehow you just can't go underground to find them because I don't know where they at. I don't know where they at. So that's what social media became. All of the people with the good information, a lot of times, are underground, right? And everybody plays the I'm shadow banned game. Even people who aren't really shadow banned, you know, people got hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and I'm shadow banned. No, you're not. No, you're not. But then we have this thing on social media where, you know, even when we're talking about like content and content creators, it's not entertaining. You get what I'm saying? Bro, you need to entertain me. I'm gonna be completely honest, just as a content creator. One of the reasons I be bland half the time is because as a person, I'm hilarious and I talk a lot of trash. But what I don't want to do is be myself completely on social media and have motherfuckers act like I'm some comedian for everybody. Man, you need to make me laugh. I'm gonna be like, fuck you. Fuck you. If I'm having a good time, I'm gonna have a good time, but I'm not here for your show every time you see me. I might smack you if you saw me in public asking me something like that. But that's just the reality of it. But you gotta understand something, social media pays. People make a lot of money in social media. And I'm not hating at all. People make a lot of money. But people know in social media, what do the people want? Bullshit. That's what you want. You want bullshit. Don't. I need this and I want this. No, you don't. No, you don't. Look, I remember this when YouTube started over a decade ago. People was making informative videos and girls was making twerk videos. And guess what people were watching? Informative videos, 370 likes or views. Twerk videos, 75,000. You know, it ain't no different now, right? But why I say it's on fire, because What you wind up seeing in society is a society of people on social media who they know how to get your attention, but in all honesty, they know the way to get your attention is do something stupid, and they know you gravitate to stupid stuff. And now when you go in public, now people are stupid. It's hard to have an adult conversation with other adults when adults are stupid. It's hard to have connection with people who have real life experience and are talking about something that they've experienced in life when you're not really experiencing life because you're on your phone more than you're in life. And man, did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see that post? Did you see that short video? Did you see that? Did you see the one with the? Did you see that reel? Did you see that? Listen, I don't give a fuck. And I watch that stuff too, but I don't give a fuck. Because when you look out into society, people are caught. They're caught off guard. You know what I'm saying? I saw a black dude talk about chattel slavery, and he called it chattel. And I'm like, bro, what is chattel? You a black man in America over 30, and you don't know how to say chattel slavery by now? Man, I can't listen. I know what you're talking about. I get the information, but bro, you stupid as a motherfucker. You get what I'm saying? This is where we're at. I'm looking on social media and I'm seeing people when they try to smarten up. I'm like, man, you too old to just learn this information. You're too old to give me the speech of, man, brothers and sisters, let me tell you what I just learned 2 days ago, and now I'm going to post a video about it, and I'm 35. What? You talking like a 20-year-old. You should be past that by now. So that means you just learned that. Okay. You just learned it. Okay. I'm tired of seeing it now. And that goes for all groups, all races, all genders. That's how it's going. People are on social media. I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know water was wet. I just learned it. What? I didn't know that the sky was blue. I just can't. Let me let you know. Have you ever looked up at the sky? Would you know that the sky is like a light blue? Did you know that? And the clouds are white, and if it rains, they're kind of gray. Oh my God! I'm like, man, if you don't shut your mother, you know. So now we have this issue. So now it becomes I'm looking at America because now I'm saying, okay, man, are you telling me that there's this many people out in the world when they say, the economy is bad and people are losing jobs left and right and people don't know how they're going to afford their lives and their lifestyles. And I'm looking out in the society, I'm like, and is it going to get better? No, it's not going to get better. Because you got the people at the top of the food chain who's stupid as a motherfucker. And you got the people all the way to the bottom of the food chain who's stupid as a motherfucker. So no, it's not going to get better. It's not going to get better. That's where we're at. And then we play this game with both where when it gets bad, people turn into old folks back in the day. Let's turn to God. I'm tired of y'all too. I'm tired of y'all fake religious asses on social media, on social media in real life, What we doing? What do you mean what we doing? God is this, God is that. Listen, bro, you're not finna give me the God speech when I know you didn't. Look, Christians don't know what the fuck they talking about. Muslims don't know what the fuck they talking about. Atheists don't know what the fuck they talking about. You know what I'm saying? People who are Jewish don't know what the fuck they talking about. Even the Hebrew Israelites don't know what the fuck they talking about. It's just religion is the thing that people use to feel like God got my back. I saw a clip of you saying it, Matthew McConaughey talking about religion when he was like, you're not supposed to be a repeat offender. And see, and that's the religious aspect of America in the world. People swear that, oh man, I know this about God and right and wrong, and this is right, this is wrong, this is a good thing, this is a sin. But you repeat the same sin over and over and over again. Talk about, but God practices forgiveness. What are you talking about? You on dope or dog food. God practices forgiveness, but now if you are habitual, you doing the same thing habitually. Y'all read the Bible. Y'all didn't see how God walked away from certain people and left certain people stranded in groups of people. Like I'm done with you. But all of a sudden, you gonna be a habitual offender. You gonna do the same BS over and over and over again and tell God that God forgive me. Man, shut up. Saw a Muslim guy on social media talking about slavery. God said it's okay to have for slavery, and this is why we have. No, don't lie, don't lie, don't lie. God, mm-mm, mm-mm. See, people want to play this slavery. The Bible and the Quran told you slavery is okay. No, 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 no. Slavery was prison. That's what it was. That's why to this day, when they tell you, well, black people, the 13th Amendment legalized slavery. Slavery was always prison. It was always prison. You commit a crime, you enslaved. When you get caught for your crime, you get killed, you enslaved. Something like it's one or the other. That was that time period. But after that time period ended, people go, oh, I'm just gonna go enslave somebody. It even tells you in the Bible, it's, if you steal a person from their homeland, as if you took them and enslaved them for no reason, they should kill you. That's in Exodus. But people like to only read it and understand it in the context of if I'm trying to do some bullshit. I'm trying to get away with some bullshit, so the Bible says. I'm trying to get away with some bullshit, so the Torah says. I'm trying to get away with some bullshit, so the Quran said. No, ain't got time for that. And this is why I say, why I see and observe like America is burning, because, people haven't even got to the point where they go, you know what? Maybe I need to stop looking at religion or God as a way for me to get over and get away with something, and as an excuse. Because if I'm gonna be a good person, I'm gonna be a good person. If I'm gonna be a bad person, I'm gonna be a bad person. Don't give me this halfway, I want to hop in, but I want to hop out. And don't get it twisted, but we all have sins and we all have temptation. Yeah. Just because you have temptation don't mean you gotta act on it. Just because you have sin don't mean you gotta do the same shit all over again. You don't have to. You chose to. And the other reason why I go down this path is because when people get overly religious like that, they have a tendency not to do anything. See, it's all in God's hands. God got it. God gonna take care of it. It's all Jesus gonna take the wheel. Jesus never had a car. You got a car. It's all in God. God gave you hands. You got hands. What you gonna do with it? See, I know better. I know people who use religion as an excuse. Let me see something. Some people use religion as an excuse to be lazy. I'm gonna just wait on God, aka I ain't gonna do nothing. I ain't gonna do nothing. I'm gonna just sit here and I ain't gonna do nothing. It's a blessing if somebody else comes and do something for me that I was supposed to do for myself. That's a blessing. No, it's not. No, it's not. Mm-mm. Somebody else got to put in the effort for you. And what I mean is, if something happened and life threw you a curveball and you got done dirty and something terrible happened and you couldn't do for yourself and somebody did for you, that's a blessing. But if you self sabotage yourself and you dug your own hole and you put your own self in a bad situation and you're waiting for somebody, God to bless you by getting you out of, well, everybody needs grace. Everybody don't need grace. No, everybody don't need grace. People abuse grace. And that's what this country has done. It's abused grace. It's abused blessing. It's abused God for hundreds of years. So now we getting to that point where what is anybody gonna say about it? What is anybody gonna do about it? And everybody, well, God's destroying the country. No, America destroyed itself. I was listening to a guy talk about this earlier, bringing the political part about it. Guy was talking about Iran Contra. Some of y'all don't know, AKA the crack era. The United States government, got into the drug game again in the crack era. That wasn't the first time they got into the drug game. Appreciate you, fam. He said, and the guy was like, well, basically, we got rid of the American government got rid of the Colombian drug cartels, and they destroyed those and wound up empowering the Mexican drug cartels. And like, this probably in hindsight, it was a bad thing because Mexico is so close to America, and Mexico has more people than Colombia did, and now it made trafficking and the drug trade and America's drug problems and violence problems exponentially worse in the long run because your biggest drug supplier, which is not your competitor, is the people right next door that you got in business with. And it's like, so people didn't think about that 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Y'all didn't think about that already? No, because you're stupid. And now America has a drug problem. And when I get into that, America has a drug problem, America has a crime problem, always had a crime problem. But what America likes to do is blame every bad thing in America on black people, And if we're gonna have we're not gonna have a quote unquote real conversation because people don't have real conversations because people ain't willing to be real. So let me give you a thing about how bad crime is in the white community, in white America. Crime is so bad and is so bad that if you bought a car in the modern era, let's just say over 2005, 2010, you would notice that the trunk in your car has a latch that was built in for people who get stuffed in the trunk. It's mandatory. Black people didn't create that one. It wasn't black people ain't the, ain't the one just known for stuffing people in trunks and pulling them out and killing them. No. That trunk thing came from a lot of white folks putting people in trunks. But people don't look at that. Hey, like, we don't never even think about that. Kidnapping kids, kidnapping women, kidnapping grown men, just stuffing them in trunks. But people go, man, it never crossed my mind. Yeah, ain't that interesting? So now we gotta have a different conversation because of all of the stuff. Like last night, me and my wife were watching Netflix. Johnny Manziel, the story of Johnny Manziel's thing on Netflix, Johnny Football and crazy show Don't Date Brandon, right? And what was synonymous with both of them is because they both were white guys, the amount of stuff that they got away with is astronomical. And if anybody know, the story of Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football, y'all know he broke every rule in the book. And it was cool. Hey, he's white. It's all good. Hey. Drug test? Have somebody else take it from me. You know, Taking money? It's okay. You know, making money. What is it? Selling autographs to make money? You get caught? No, just send the money to my granddad. Tell my granddad to write me a check with the money, and I look like it's legal. Get caught again? You know, making money off in college? Before NIL? Oh, just tell the world I'm rich and go right back to doing the same thing. And white people, they say, hey man, he's white. you know, Go partying. If I'm not mistaken, I think he got caught partying before the draft, like snorting coke off the Heisman. That's crazy stuff. It's like, yeah, whatever. You know, yeah, it is what it is. First round pick. Like, yeah. And then just self sabotage yourself. Never really go to jail for nothing, really. But hey, whatever. You know, the dude Brandon, this motherfucker, he he embezzled 400 grand from a business, and I gotta talk about that because when I say what I see when I observe America, when I say America's burning, I've seen so many stories in the last 5 to 10 years. No, I could take that back. Ever since Enron, that's damn near 20 years ago, of white collar crime with white dudes, and you're like, how could you mean to tell me you didn't pay somebody hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in business and you didn't even know they didn't have a business? You mean to tell me you decided to invest in somebody's service and they didn't have a service? You mean to tell me you didn't know that this person had a company, a medical company or whatever, and they were double and triple and quadruple billing people and making fraudulent claims, and you've been paying them millions of dollars over the years? You mean to tell me you didn't see? You mean to tell me, if anybody, you seen the movie The Big Short, you mean to tell me you had big, huge financial companies who was just making up financial stuff? And he's just gonna make it up. He's just gonna make up some stuff and then just make some money off of some made up stuff, and that's a whole lot of nothing. Okay, and it all falls to pieces. And really, nobody goes to jail for it. Oh, okay. You mean to tell me your politicians, your senators, your representatives, you know, you, you can even say your president does insider trading all the time to make money, and they getting paid, by super PACs, and these businesses are making record profits. They're making record profits, but but they don't have record sales. What they tell you? Man, we broke another milestone. We made $17 billion last year, but your sales went down though. Yeah, we just marked up everything. Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. And then people go, hey man, the country is fine. The country hasn't been fine for a very long time. Not to mention, another reason why I say it's on fire. If you really want to go there, there is nothing in America right now, currently, that the world is like, we need that. We need that. America got that. We need that. There's really nothing in America. Like the American dream in America, besides buying a home, is to get a car that's not made in America, to buy clothes that's not made in America, to buy to you know to buy electronics that's not made in America. No, the food you buy that's made in America might send you to an early grave, but whatever. You know what? What do you call it? I was about, some of y'all like jewelry. None of it's made in America. The American dream is to buy a whole bunch of foreign stuff in America. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ironically, with the conversation being, us Americans, man, we got the dollar. The dollar is bigger than everything, and we have a good exchange rate. So you mean to tell me all these other countries in the world, their goods that are the same goods that we have in America are cheaper there than here? And that's why you see a gang of people who from America playing this game of, I'm gonna go to another country. I'm gonna go to Central America. I'm gonna go to South America. I'm gonna go to, I'm gonna go to the Caribbean. I'm gonna go to Africa. Yeah, okay, because it's so much cheaper. But see, here's the other thing about it. You got those people trying to run all the way out of America, to get a cheap life. Who told you? Most of y'all ain't gonna be able to stay there. Most of y'all, the vast majority of y'all, are not gonna be able to stay in a foreign country. That's the reality. That's the reality. Because you need money in a foreign country. Just like when you have the content creators, they create content. You know, uh, you don't have a lot of people like O'Shea. O'Shea, has been a hard worker ever since I've known him. He's outworked everybody. Uh, so what that means, and he has great business sense. Dude, Kevin wasn't lying when he said he's a genius, because he is. But he's able to take care of himself in another country, multiple countries at that. Most people ain't able to do that. Most people go somewhere and they older and they say, I'm gonna retire and I'm gonna live off my benefits here. And I don't want to be cold blooded when I say this. There have been people from America who wanted to live abroad who died abroad because something medically happened to them, and the countries that they lived in didn't have better medical care. That's what happened. Guys been robbed. You know, some of you guys who wanted to take hit. I got I got the baddies in other countries. You're not really, you're not really her man. You're the dude who pay the bills. Her man come when you leave. Yeah, you bought the apartment. That's fine, but her man lives in that apartment when you go. He just happened to, when you decide to go back to whatever country for 2 weeks to see her, she just gonna be with you in 2 weeks. After that, she going back to her man. That's a whole nother story. But people want to run away from America. I'm gonna run. I'm gonna run. Okay, good luck. Much as you gonna run there, you by the time you make sense to run your behind back, it's gonna cost that much more to live here. And now you gonna realize you can't live there and you can't live here. And a lot of y'all can't live abroad because y'all not willing to I would say dumb down your life. That probably wouldn't be the right way to say it. But you're not willing to take a step back in lifestyle. I want to be there. Nah, no, you don't. Just like you see all the black folks, some of the black folks who go to Africa, they go, I shouldn't have went. I came back. Some of the people that's expats and whatnot, they go places and they go, and then they go somewhere else. Then they go somewhere else. Then they go somewhere else. You gonna see motherfuckers. They travel the world, and then by the time they really want to settle down, they realize they can't live abroad, and then by the time they get back to the U.S., they're like, man, I done spent all the money that I should have had building a home here. I done spent it all abroad, and now I got to start from scratch back in America. You stupid as hell. You know, it's like, man. So that's the game people gonna play. Like I said, people don't have enough money to do like they say they do. Now, here's the other thing. That's why I say, why I observe the country burning. Because of these situations, kind of going back to the social media thing, you got too many fake activists out here. Like, like we had these conversations about, hey man, we need solutions. Um, we have solutions. Solutions aren't the problem. The problem is nobody wants to put in the, well, I ain't gonna say nobody. The vast majority of people do not want to implement the solutions because there's gonna have to put some effort into it. And they're gonna have to make some cutbacks to make the solution work, even though they know it's the solution. See, people want a problem solved with somebody, their own problem needs to be solved, but somebody else needs to do the heavy lifting for it. No, no. What's the solution for this? What's the solution for that? Oh, that's the solution. I'm overweight and I'm sick. What's the solution? Eat healthier, exercise. Man, but it costs more to eat healthy. It costs more to eat healthy than it do to eat junk. No, it don't. That's just some bullshit people say. That's just some bullshit people say. But if you eat healthy, you might have to cook that healthy food. But you'd rather that $5 bag of chips that you say is so goddamn cheap. You know, you could have bought some potatoes, you know, for the same amount of money that you bought 2 bags of chips for. But you just don't want to cook the potatoes. You don't want to cut them up and bake them or whatever. You don't want to boil them. You don't want to mash them. You don't want to do none of that. I don't want to eat vegetables. Okay, I don't want to eat fruits. That's your problem. Same thing with the financial thing. Man, I'm in debt. What's the solution? Okay, man, you're gonna have to cut back your spending, uh, cut back some of the things that you think are necessities, and most of them spend less, go out less, yourself less. As a matter of fact, you have to just go working home for a while, bills, pay your, then you can breathe a little bit. Do you want to do that? Hell no. I don't want to. I mean, well, I deserve to treat myself. No, you don't. You put yourself in this bad situation. How do you deserve to treat? You've been treating yourself when you undeservingly for this whole time. That's why you get in this bad situation. Well, we don't worry about all that. Okay, well, we're not gonna worry about this from now on. We're not gonna worry about it from now on. Same thing. Yeah, the same thing comes with the other part. Um, and I say this leading into something about that health and wealth. That was what I covered right there. Um, this is spilled into the relationship dynamic in America. That's why people. America has a relationship problem. Absolutely. Why does it have a relationship problem? Because most people are trying to use people. That's why. Most people are trying to use people. And you would think like, is that a bad thing? Yeah, it actually is. Because you're trying to use somebody and you're not trying to tell them you're using them. To you, you're not being upfront. But here's the problem. It's so bad now. Everybody knows the games that everybody is playing. You broke, you trying to use somebody for money. You horny, you trying to use somebody for sex. And but here's the hustle. I'm gonna act like the person I'm trying to use needs me. I'm gonna walk around arrogant and like, yo, you really need me. See, I'm the prize in this situation. I'm the catch in this situation. The person that needs you, that wants to use the other person is the catch. No, you're not. No, you're not. It don't even make no sense at this point. You know, I'm smart. You know what I'm doing? I act dumb to get with somebody smarter than me. So they can do all the smart stuff and I can kick back and do nothing and try to get them to do everything because I'm really smart. And what's going to happen at the end of the day is they're going to leave your stupid ass. And all the stuff that you wasn't doing when you're on your own, you're not going to do for yourself. And then what? You go look for somebody else to do it for you. Everything becomes everybody else's responsibility. And which leads me to why I say, relationships became a using game. It's because of something that I don't think is talked about enough. I call it the three S's of society. The three S's: suburban, stupid, and sassy. That's America right now. Suburban, stupid, and sassy. So what happened was, you know, basically, whether people like to admit it or not, most of the people in America, probably in the last 20 years, you know, um, maybe 25, really grew up in a suburban environment. Most of the America that we think about, well, the smart people and the people who are upper class and, and everybody that we need to, all the stuff that makes America go, it's that. It's, it's suburban people who have really been underachieving. They had overachieving families and overachieving parents, and they were underachieving kids, underachieving adults. When I say suburban, I mean entitled. We have an entitled society. Everybody, think about it. You had in the last 25 years, 2025, in the last 25 years, you had a gang of people going to college, get a gang of degrees, and it hasn't helped. And it really hasn't helped. As a matter of fact, in that time frame, you had a sitting president who went to Ivy League schools, who was paying student loans while running for president. And he was like in his early 50s at the time. What that tell you? You know what I'm saying? You've had a gang of businesses and corporations hire a gang of people, and this is where people go. They blame the boomers and all that other stuff. This is where this comes from. Excuse me. You have all of these. He was in his early 40s. My bad. He was in his, I don't think he was in his early 40s. Yeah. I got you, fam. Uh, you had all of these people who got jobs at these corporations and these businesses, and what they wound up figuring out was the way we do business. And what was the way that they did business that they learned from the older guys? We go drinking at a bar, we go drinking at a strip club, we go on a golf course, and that's when we do deals. We go to a country club. You get what I'm saying? We go to a sporting event, and this is how we do business. And it never dawned on these stupid motherfuckers that the reason why they own these courses and all that other stuff, because they don't know how to do business. And they can always blame the event for their dumbass deals. Oh man, I didn't know that was a bad deal. We were drinking at the course. I didn't know that was a horrible deal, man. We were at the game. I mean, I didn't think that was a horrible deal, man. We were at a strip club closing it, man. It was just plausible deniability, because somebody else has to run the numbers and look at the deals and go, hey man, what the fuck is going on? And the irony, you got all these lawyers, all these accountants, all of these quote unquote smart people, but who you got running these situations? Idiots. You know why? Because he looks like a leader. You know why? He looks strong. I like the way he speaks. He had a firm handshake. He looked intimidating. He was tall. Nigga, that ain't... and you can't tell me I'm lying, because I can give you one name that lets you know how stupid this was. Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff was the poster child for that shit. Enron, the poster child for that shit. Lehman Brothers, AIG. The banks being bailed out. What do we call that? The car companies being bailed out. Hell, the government being bailed out was all because of stupid people. Suburban, stupid, and sassy than a motherfucker. And when I say sassy, I don't just mean people who are homosexual. No. I mean people who walk around with that sweet mindset, that I could do whatever I wanted. Nothing's gonna ever happen to me because I could just walk into the sunset. Oh, okay. You just okay, you just sassy. Now you're an idiot. Think about China, the smartest people get. No. Oh no. You gotta remember something. Dr. X, the beauty of China is what? China became a leader in manufacturing because America did it. America's greed and laziness made China the smartest people on the planet, and people that manufacture the most. You know why? You know what? I don't like Bill Clinton in this NAFTA. We don't like the North American Free Trade Agreement. Why in the hell would we have free trade between Canada and Mexico? I'm going to take my business to China. I'm going to take my company to China. That's what I'm going to do, because I don't want to pay my workers. I'm going to China. And you know what? I'm getting other businesses to go to China with me. And they're going to take all of our American ingenuity and our American technology and our American, intelligence, and we're going to go to China. And we're going to give it to these poor little Chinese stupid people. And them Chinese people like, y'all gonna bring us y'all stuff and show us how to make it? and keep them and pay for the materials and have the materials in this country. Oh, y'all gonna pay us pennies, y'all gonna screw us over. Oh, okay, no problem, no problem. You know what we finna do? Bootleg. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Since we know how to make all the stuff that you taught us how to make, we gonna make it for the world now. And then these same businessmen in America, oh, you know, 30, 40 years later, these Chinese people, I hate them. What you hate them for? You the one taught them how to make cars, how to make, how to make cameras. Well, not necessarily cameras, but the computers and tech. You did all that. All the fashion. You did all that. All the machining parts. You did all that. You goofing it above. So now it's like, oh, okay, stupid. You stupid. Because people have this belief of America. America is the greatest land on earth, and it's the land of opportunity. America is never the land of opportunity. Put an asterisk on America being a land. America is the land of opportunity for the people who deem that America should get an opportunity too. That's why you know that's why you can make money cooning in America. All you got to do is play in a racism in America. If of any, no matter what ethnicity or gender you are, or even if you're in the LGBT community, it is what it is. As long as you play along with the racism in America, you gonna get money. You don't have to be smart. You don't have to have an idea. You don't have to do nothing. You don't have to do nothing. Exactly. Yeah. China did tell them, yeah, we gonna take all of this, and then on top of that, they played that game. What do you call that? Who else did that? When they had the white dude Snowden, when he's like, when he stole all of the government information and flew to Russia with it. It's like y'all just let stuff happen in this country. You know, you know, 9/11 happened. Before 9/11, it was the Oklahoma City bombing. You know, and some people might not know what I'm talking about when I put it together like that. You know, Oklahoma City bombing, 9/11, Snowden, all of the corporate dysfunction. It's all the same thing. It's literally all the same thing. Why didn't you when a group of people went to a flight school and said, I want to learn how to fly a plane, but I don't want to know how to land it? Nobody batted an eye because they wasn't black. Let's just be honest. When a guy bought a bunch of material, a white guy went and bought a bunch of material that was the basic ingredients for dynamite in large portions, because you was using like fertilizer, salt, that type of stuff. Usual orders that should be flagged when they get to a certain level. Nobody batted an eye because he was a white dude by it. You get what I'm saying? He was a white dude by it, so it didn't matter. Then he blew up a building. It didn't matter. People didn't bat an eye. The housing bubble when it burst and all this stuff happened in America. Why didn't people see the companies were an issue and they were doing bad business? Same reason. Wasn't black. Wasn't black. The things that, like, think about it. And I was about to say it's Robert Johnson. I think it's Robert Smith. I'm having a moment right now. The black billionaire. Remember the black billionaire? I think it's Robert Smith. It's either Robert Smith or Robert Johnson. I forget. When he went to Morehouse to do the speech for the graduating class, and he said, you know what? I'm going to pay everybody's students loans this year. The IRS came down on his ass immediately. They tried to break that man and try to get him with tax evasion because he paid for a bunch of black male students at Morehouse's. He paid for their what is he pay, not paid for their education. He paid off their student loans. But a white dude that used to be a janitor, basically went up the system, in Washington D.C. and took a gang of American secrets and flew to Russia, and y'all didn't know the wiser. Y'all, didn't, y'all, it doesn't dawn on you. You know what I'm saying? Y'all trying to figure out who Bill Cosby was sleeping with in 1967 to lock him up. Y'all put RICO charges on singers and entertainers as a singular person, but but we find out politicians is flying to an island and messing with kids, but we don't know how to do it. Like, it's the same thing over and over and over and over. And this mentality, it worked for the longest. This stupidity and this suburban mentality, because this easy street ideology, this entitlement ideology that, I could do all the dumb stuff and it's still going to be okay. I'm going to be incompetent and it's still going to be all right. It worked for so long, and people don't even understand why it worked. And people like myself are like, yeah, man, it's slavery. What do you mean slavery? What people mean is America profited so much off of slavery, Jim Crow, the drug trade, theft, that the American population that people are so concerned about, the same one, Elon Musk daddy on that, Elon Musk father, if we're not the majority, it's going to go back to the jungle. Bruh. Here's a news flash. Africa was doing fine until Europe got in the way. Africa's biggest problem was Europe. It wasn't Africa. Asia's was doing just fine until Europe got in the way. Asia did have a whole lot of stuff going on. Europe messed it up. America, the land we know is America. Central, South, and North were doing just fine until Europe got in the way. Australia was doing just fine till Europe got in the way. Right. Well, see, even with Clinton, man, like the thing about Clinton was what? Like, people got mad at Clinton, back then because Clinton made, how can I say this? Clinton broke up the monopolies. It wasn't really monopolies, but, people don't realize, I don't think people realize the Southwestern Bell days. Like, how consolidated major businesses are now is how it was when I was a child. And when Clinton came around, he was like, we're going to spread this out. So if y'all notice, if you think about the 90s, 2000s, early 90s to the 2000s, you had far more companies. You had far more cell phones. When cell phones came out, it was far more companies. Now it's like 3. Yeah, we broke up the conglomerates. Like, AT&T, T-Mobile. Remember, we used to have Sprint. We used to have Boost. We used to have, what was the one that chirped? Motorola. It was a gang of companies. It was a gang of banks. It was a gang of phone companies. It was a gang of banks. Cricket, yeah, but gang of phone companies, gang of banks. Because in the 2000s, that's when people, MCI. I think now you don't have that. There was a gang. There was a gang of tech companies. Nokia, thank you. Nextel. That's what I was thinking about. Nextel. Now you don't have that. People had all of these different services. You had different cable companies. You had different phone companies. You know, the how can I say the companies that you see branched off now were different. They were different. Like General Mills, like companies now are like cereal companies. General Mills Post, where it's one company but they got 20 damn different cereals. That's what Clinton broke up. Like, no, we're not gonna do that. You got to have separate companies. And now people get it now. Because now people looking at it like it was different gas stations. You had Chevron, you had Exxon, you had Conoco, you had Phillips, you had uh, 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 shoot, Amco. You know, you had BP and all. Like you had a gang of gas stations. You know, yeah, like GMC and Stellantis, yeah. You know, but it used to be different. You couldn't do that. You had to be your own. Texaco. Thank you. But now everybody's like, man, why is inflation rising? Why is the cost of living rising? Because you got all these damn businesses. Because you got all of these big conglomerates. You got one company who own, you know, 7 companies. So guess what? Since they all own the same all these companies, they're gonna raise the price. That's exactly what they did. Look at your insurance company. Same thing happened. The same exact thing happened. Like you said, because people don't remember. Uh, uh, there was a time where Walmart people used to hate Walmart because they was killing all the mom and pop stores. See, you don't see Kmart anymore. Big K, Big Lots, um, Walgreens. Nobody sees what Walgreens still here, but Woolworth, Eckerd's, Montgomery Ward. It's a bunch of businesses that people don't see anymore. You remember Best Buy, Circuit City, Radio Shack, Cons, Fry's. Now you see less and less and less and less and less. So now we got an issue because of all of this BS over the year, and like I said, stupidity and this suburban mentality. Even and this is why I get into it. Even with gentrification. So this is what you think you're gonna keep doing, and you can see for people who don't know why I put that together is you see it with gentrification because what you've seen over the years with all of these businesses going away and taxes and gentrification, what you saw is they build up they build up the suburbs, and then people got tired of living in the suburbs and commuting to the quote unquote inner city, so they would go in certain metropolitan cities and gentrify and then rebuild the inner city, and then they realize it's too I don't want to be this close now. It's not cool. So let's go back out to the suburbs because the people from the hood wind up going to the suburbs. So you gentrify, quote unquote, the suburbs that the black people went to, or that type of thing. And now you want to go back out there, right? And then it just dawned on some of these people. Oh, wait a minute. So what you want me to do is buy a $300,000 house and then move to another, and then move out of there because I'm tired of driving, and get a $300,000 house in the city, and then I'm tired of that because this gentrification ain't working good enough for me. So let me go buy a $600,000 house back in the suburbs again. Frank Murray, you ain't got it. I already know. I already know about Charlotte. Trust me. I have family living. Well, not you know, not I been to Charlotte. Got family in Kannapolis. I know the difference between Kannapolis and Concord. You know, I used to go through Charlotte when the freeway had two lanes. That's a long time ago. But it's that whole ideology, this whole ideology that yeah, man, we're gonna, and the reason I bring up the gentrification part is because it's constant thing. We're gonna make money. No, you're not, and it's just dawning on people now. You're not making money. Yeah, it's a reason why you're not gonna make money. It's a huge reason why you're not gonna make money. Contrary to popular belief, because you ain't gonna have the people to make money off of. Because what you did was, for the people that you said have a good education and go to college, you screwed them because of the rising rates of student loans. Then you got the people who, are working jobs. The minute that they get a solid foothold, you fire them, and then and you pay out, the top 10% of your business people, and you overpaid them, and then you come to find out that they didn't do nothing. So at the end of the day, all the good workers that you had, you got rid of them. All the top people in management that you paid didn't do a goddamn thing, but give themselves a golden parachute, and now you got to start from scratch. And if you can't start from scratch, guess what's going to happen? A bigger conglomerate is going to buy you up. Congratulate. See, people don't even think about the other part of. That's why all of these businesses keep getting bought up. That's why these conglomerates and these corporate juggernauts get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Because the business was done horribly. No. The crazy part about rich foreign buyers buying up homes, they just buying homes. A lot of the people that were buying homes, they're not buying them now. A lot of the people that were buying homes, that were rich and foreigners, they were people who were, let's just say, royalty and drug dealers trying to hide money. That's basically what it was. You know what? I got so much money from being royalty, or from dealing, or from doing global organized crime. I gotta hide it in. I can't hide it all in cash and shell companies. I gotta buy some real estate. I well, let me buy this $500,000 house for $750,000. I do it. Hey, it is what it is, and nobody cares because hey, the real estate market is booming, and it booms so much with all this stupid stuff going on that now being a realtor ain't a good thing because you ain't selling no damn houses like you used to. Congratulations. Congratulations. You know what I'm saying? Same thing happened to the car market. Same thing happened to the car market. Hey man, the price of cars keep going up. People, hey man, you need to buy this, you need to buy that. No, we got the new Escalade coming out. Man, that thing costs $115,000. Why would I want it? I'm not rich. Oh man, well you can get a pickup truck. Okay. You mean okay? How much is the F-150? Of $70,000. What? Well, how much is a Ranger? Oh, that's about $45,000. Bitch, I'm not getting a car. We're not doing this with you. You know. So now people can't afford America, and America and the businesses know it. That's why you know hate to break the news to some people. Just like you have big corporate businesses who are buying homes to basically rent homes to people for in the future. Since you can't afford a home, we're gonna buy. BlackRock and Amazon and all that. They're gonna buy the homes and just rent them to people. I hope y'all understand. They're gonna do the same thing with cars. They're gonna do the exact same thing with cars. They're gonna buy these cars and rent them to your ass. You're gonna go to a car lot and and people go, what? Nigga, they already renting cars to people. It's called a lease. Or it's called paying car payments. No, they finna add something to your ass. They finna add something. They finna make a third market. They already rent cars. Yeah, you rent cars when you visit a place. They finna have you renting cars on a car lot. That's what's gonna happen. Because you gotta remember, car rental places started getting to the used car market. So don't think that the car dealerships are not gonna get into the rental space. Like fuck it, we got all these cars, we gotta do something. Why go to Avis? Why go to Hertz? You can come to our dealership and get a brand new yada yada yada, and we can rent it, for uh, a week. That's what they gonna do because they getting taxed. So when I say, when I see the country and the country on fire, for sure, and there will be no fixes. I hate to break the news to y'all. Like what people got to plan for now is you got to plan for living in a country um, like you was in poverty when I was a child in the 80s. And why I say that is, you know, there's something that's about to happen, and y'all gonna see a lot of people lose their minds. See, they messed up the money so bad. White people gonna have a hard time, and they're gonna have a hard time because their quality of life is gonna go down increasingly. Their quality of life, their standard of living is not gonna be up to the standards of white America. When it comes to the immigrant population, all of the stuff that America has been doing to help you and prop you up, that's going to be over. That's going to no, you're not going to get that loan. You're not going to you're not going to get into that business and and uh and 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 them put you in a position where you can make money. No, they finna squeeze your whole community. And I say that, just like um, all the people all the immigrants who got into trucking, and now all these accidents is blamed on y'all ass. All this bad driving, all these people die, and they got rightfully so. They could blame you because they've seen too many people, you know, who don't quote unquote look American get into these wrecks. By the way, it's a lot of quote unquote Americans that are horrible drivers and trucking, but they did too much. Same thing when people spoke about the Hispanics and Mexicans are hardworking. Yeah, okay. I ain't gonna say you're not hardworking. I ain't gonna say you're not, but what I'm gonna say is this: they don't they, they don't want to pay you. That's what that is. They don't want to pay you. And us as black people, we knew that already. All you people who come to America, all you immigrants who play the game, well, I'm gonna be an American, I'm going to get an education, and then we're doing better than you Americans. No, yeah, I said it before. That's why you see Asians and Africans becoming entertainers and athletes more and more. That's why, because some of them are two, three generations deep, and they started to realize, oh, 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 okay, I didn't mess up because a lot of y'all don't realize a lot of these other groups, uh, America helped people, with their businesses, with their business loans, keeping their businesses afloat, all these tax breaks and all that other stuff, to the point where a lot there were people who were immigrants who came to this country and they did well, and they put their kids in school and they put their kids in college and their kids became all right individuals. But what they did was they spoiled their kids. And as a black American, I've seen this before. See, you came with quote unquote $5 in your pocket. Is a story you want to tell, and made something of yourself. But you put your damn kids in Cadillacs and BMWs, and all of the money you worked your ass for, they spinning it up. And by the time you dead, your grandkids gonna be broke. And you see it over and over and over and over and over. And that's the issue. So y'all gonna have the same problem. The issue, like with white America, their debt is so high they can't get out of it. The only way they can get, they can't get out of it. They can't get out of it. Black America, we got a whole different problem. We got a whole different problem. I can say our biggest problem is well, I'm saying about everything else, but our biggest problem is you get, there's a growing number of black people that ain't black. They don't have a black ideology. They don't have a black consciousness. Even politically, I done seen so many street niggas turn into house niggas in the last 20 years. It's ridiculous. And the idea that being a street dude is the pinnacle of being black, and that is such bullshit. We got an issue where you got young guys and women who are not from the hood, who never grew up in the hood, who never really grew up in poverty, who never really grew up with a gang of dysfunction. These motherfuckers out here, they going from the suburbs to the hood. That's what they do. I'm a, I grew up in the mean streets of a 3,000 square foot house. So I'm walking around the hood now. You don't get your dumb ass out of here. I think it's, I'm smart. And we played that game back in the day where, you smart, but you gonna act stupid. No. Now y'all are stupid. Now y'all are actually stupid. We have a whole nother problem. You got you got black men who don't. You got black men who have an issue with being a black man because if, I'm going to be the new black man and I'm going to be sensitive and sassy and I'm going to be very articulate and I'm going to be the new model of masculinity by acting like a bitch. Yeah, whatever, man. It's like, man, that that's a waste of time. And then on the flip side, same thing with the ladies. Ladies, the same thing. Women don't want to be black women. Every, you know, everybody acting like a good black woman is a figment of the past. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's really not. But y'all want to play that game? Fine. Because people just want to do what the fuck they want to do, and then hide under I'm black. You're not black. You're not black. And the same way they say we need to delineate in the FBA, we might have to delineate for some of these fake ass black folks too. You know, that's why you got suburban black folks started to figure out they wasn't hood enough to be hoodlums, so they started becoming country motherfuckers. Let me be country now, because I have white friends and now I'm from the country. No, the fuck you not. Put your ass in. I drop your ass off in the country and have you spend a week. You wouldn't last 2 days. So it's out of pocket. It's just out of pocket, man. You know. But if I must go there, I think um, whatever, bro. But when I say all of this stuff, man, at the end of the day, it's kind of like, listen, and here's one of the reasons I say what I'm saying, especially about this new age. You got too many people nowadays who are so upset with how America is. They're just like, this is why I'm not going to participate. Oh, just because let's get something through your head. Just because it's unfair and just because it's fucked up, if you think you're not gonna participate, you're just gonna be a drain on somebody else. That's what you saying. That's literally what you're saying. Because at the end of the day, what you're telling everybody else is that, oh shit, I ain't mean to do that. What you're telling everybody else is you're gonna go back to being lazy. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go back to being lazy. And what I mean by you gonna go back to being lazy is this. No nice way to say what I'm about to say. I just thought about that. You gonna want somebody else to do it for you. That's what you're gonna want to do. You're gonna want somebody to do it for you. You're gonna say, look, man, I'm not having kids. Okay, don't have kids. I'm not getting in a relationship. Okay, don't get in a relationship. I'm not gonna buy a car. Okay, I'm not gonna buy a home. Okay, well, let me ask you a fucking question. What the fuck you gonna do with your life? What the fuck you gonna do with your life? So you're not gonna have kids. You're not gonna have a relationship. You're not gonna have a home. If you have a car, you maybe not. So what the fuck are you gonna do with your life? I'm gonna read books. No, you're not. You're lazy to the bitch. I'm gonna work out. No, you're not. Most people in America don't work out. I'm gonna find some healing. You ain't go through shit. So what the fuck you got to heal from? Ain't nothing real happening to your bitch ass. So you gonna do the same thing I've seen other people do. You just gonna wait. You gonna hope your family members who you know who live full lives leave your ass something when they die. That's what you gonna do. Well, my parents didn't give me the perfect life, but when they die, maybe they gonna give me the house because I can't afford a house. Bitch, you ain't try to get a house. You didn't try. You know, even like I could talk about it when I say the relationship thing. You know, most of the people got on the red pill shit. Man, y'all don't even know what the fucking red pill is most of the time. The same thing the men and the women play that game. You know, I'm gonna. It wasn't perfect, so that's why I'm not gonna. That's why How can I say this? Life wasn't perfect, so at the end of the day, that's why I'm not doing X, Y, and Z. And I'm looking like, when is supposed to be perfect? So let me get this right. And watch what I say this. So let me get this right. If you're a man, you're not gonna have kids, you're not gonna be in a relationship, you're not getting married, you're not trying to buy a house, and you're complaining about being broke. How the fuck are you broke? Because you don't have no fucking responsibilities. So what the fuck are you doing being broke? If you're not going out, if you don't have child support, if you don't have to pay alimony because you ain't divorced, if you're not, you get what I'm saying? If you don't have a mortgage, what the fuck are you doing? And this goes back to same thing with you ladies. If I don't have a man to take me on vacation and buy me clothes and take care of this and take care of that, so what the fuck are you doing with your life? I'm waiting on a man that I hate. And that's why Bryce, I was about to get on it. You beat me to it. I know that's the reason why the future is kind of fucked up, because niggas is high. That's the truth. You niggas is high. Y'all spending y'all money on dope. You know what I'm saying? Dope. I'm sick of seeing y'all smoking weed everywhere, popping pills. Them pills cost, nigga. Them pills cost. That weed costs. All that shit costs. I want attention. So I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna buy something fly. Okay, it costs. So if we're gonna be honest, tell the truth. Tell the truth why you can't afford the American dream. Because you spent it on dope. That's why. That's why. I grew, bro. I grew up. I'm finna be 46 like in a week and some change. Most dope fiends don't own anything. The vast majority of them don't. I know what it looks like when you spent all of your money on dope, you know, dope, fashion, alcohol. I know what it looks like. Yeah, that's why I don't believe most of y'all. I'm struggling in life. I don't want to hear that shit. You struggling, but you still buying weed. You struggling, but you still buying pills. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You can't afford a car, but you decide to get high, and you drive bad, and you hit somebody. Let me rewind this tape while I say this. For all the younger folks, let me say this to y'all. Let me tell y'all why people don't have sympathy for some of y'all. And I'm using it in the black stereotype. All you young Hellcat Charger Scat Pack Charger, all you Hellcats Scat Pack Demon, uh, 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 Camaro, M3, all you young cats who was buying all these fucking sports cars in your early 20s. I don't see you motherfuckers out no more. Yeah, it's gonna be happy birthday to you too, but I don't see y'all out no more. I don't see you fucking scat pack no more. I don't see you challenging no more. I don't see it no more. What happened to it? You know, what happened? What happened to the track hall? Where the fuck it go? What happened to it? I'm dead ass serious. What happened? I know what happened. The shit got repo. That's what happened. Too many of you cats, they driving Nissans and Kias. you know, it got repo. You know, yeah, gotta get that record deal. No, niggas ain't getting record deals no more. Niggas ain't getting record deals no more. I hate to break it to because don't nobody want to hear. I was I'm gonna fuck you bitch. Da 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 bit. How did the hit? How did this hit? I'm gonna the bit. Nigga, everybody sound the same. Shut the fuck up. Don't nobody wanna hear that shit no more. You know, you ain't talking about nothing. You sound the same. Y'all ain't doing nothing. You ain't got no life experience. Don't nobody wanna hear that dumb shit no more. You know, they cope. It don't make no sense. It ain't even rap fatigue. It's trash fatigue. I ain't, bro. I talked about every generation in this bitch. But it is hour and 35 minutes. Every generation, every last one of us. That's why America gonna be on fire, Playboy. You know. Matter of fact, let me talk about my generation. You know, I'm in Gen X. I'm at the very end of Gen X. And shout out to Edward Anderson because he'd be like, he a bleeding millennial. He ain't really Gen X. No, I'm Gen X. Let me tell you about my generation. We don't care about shit. The baby boomers fucked up shit. We knew they was fucking up shit. And we tried to tell y'all they was fucking up shit. Y'all didn't listen. The millennials, y'all right behind us, y'all a huge generation. We like, listen. We like, oh, y'all think y'all finna take over. Oh, that's what you thought? Oh, okay. That's what you think? No, you're not. Well, Gen X ain't finna take over. No, we're not. We're a harsh generation. We do not care. And when I say we do not care, I mean it. We knew the country was gonna be on fire. You know how we knew that the country was gonna be on fire? Because part of my generation was the one that was fucking it up. And the other part was the part of the generation working for the people that was like, hey, they fucking it up. Hold up, mess something up. Y'all don't realize who you think, when people think about all of the political stuff, there were Gen X people working under them like, man, these old niggas is not finna get this shit up. In a political sense. When you see all them dudes in Gen X who talk about the underworld crime shit, you see how retarded them motherfuckers look, man. You see how stupid they 50 years old, dressed like they 25, talking about my hate they dealing dope. Shut your bitch ass up. Yeah, man, I'm 50 and all I can talk about now is how much I was in the streets, nigga. You 50 and that's the best you got. I'd have beat your ass. Let me get on social media and tell you, man, I had the keys down. Man, shut up. And most of the niggas that was talking street shit, that's Gen X, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. The ones that you see talking was bitch made. The ones that was really doing some shit, well, you will still never see on social media talking about that shit. They got that. No thank you. You know. One of the only good things about, I ain't gonna say one, but the best thing about Gen X we got is that we're honest generation. Brutally honest. When I say brutally, I mean brutally. That's why we don't want to hear this stupid shit now. I got bullied online. You didn't get bullied online. You stayed on the phone arguing with a motherfucker. That's not being bullied. Life is so hard. Bitch, you lived with air conditioning your whole life. Life is not fucking hard for you. Have you ever ran out of toilet paper because you couldn't afford it in your lifetime? Do you know what it's like to crumple up newspaper to use it as toilet paper? You don't. Shut your ass up. This is where us Gen X fucked up. We dealt with so much poverty in America that we didn't ever want our kids to deal with it, and we raised bitch ass kids. That's what happened. We're we're just as much as part of this problem as everybody else, because this idea, man, if I give my kids everything that I didn't have, they're gonna be great kids. You gave your motherfucking kids the clothes that you didn't get. You stupid motherfucker. And some of it, and I'm gonna tell y'all something. Another thing, you know, uh, 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 this is one of this is what he said. He's a Gen X raised, but no. First of all, let me tell y'all something about us in Gen X. Don't get it twisted. Gen X is an interesting generation because it's an extreme boomer busted generation. There's a lot of lazy motherfuckers in Gen X. It's a lot of genius motherfuckers, and there's a lot of stupid motherfuckers in Gen X. That was the biggest difference. You know, that was the our we had a good ratio of smart to dumb. We had a good ratio of smart to dumb, but we had consequences, a lot of consequences. Now they don't have as many consequences. You know, and, boy, what I was about to say was about to be trifling, so I'm gonna chill out. I'm gonna chill out on what I was about to say. But let me get to this parenting part while I'm thinking about it. Let me tell y'all before I what the one of the biggest reasons I see why America is burning is bad parenting. I ain't like when people say, "Oh man, when we was kids, we was latchkey kids. We was out in the street all day, riding bikes, and the kid and kids were just outside all the time, right?" And now we see all these kids inside. Here's where it's fucked up. You telling me these kids inside all the time in the house with your ass, and they become grown and don't know nothing? That's what you telling me? So they in the house. You bought the video game system. You bought the computer. You bought the smartphone. And then when we see your kids on social media, they stupid as a motherfucker. When you ask your kids a question, they stupid as a motherfucker. But then you trying to tell me, well, that's not me as a parent. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, the fuck it is. And some of you kids, I'm not gonna lie. I know some of y'all kids, your parents been trying to teach y'all right, and y'all wanted to be stupid, and now you stupid as a motherfucker, and that's not your parents' fault. But for a lot of y'all, oh no. But because this is where you know we have to deal with this part of reality, where we have it's the information age, and it's informed idiots that it's cool to be idiots, and now the parents is idiots. I got these kids in the house. I'm buying these kids. I'm buying you all the shoes and the clothes you want. Okay. And then these kids play that game. You bought me the shoes and the clothes and the food I want, but I really wanted you. You're a lying piece of shit, kid. Because every time your parents tried to kick it with you, you'd rather be on that goddamn phone talking to your dumbass friends that's really not your friends. See, that's the line where back in the day, parents and grandparents used to tell you that, hey man, you really think them your friends? So we your family, but you gravitating to your friends, and your friends stupid, which lets me know you stupid too because you got a bunch of stupid friends. So now you got stupid parents with stupid kids and stupid friends. A recipe for disaster. And that's why you got all this crashing out. That's why you got all this crashing out. Because when people go, I want somebody to be emotionally intelligent. What you got is teenagers and young adults who handle life as teenagers and young adults. Like if you put a video game system in front of a 7-year old and they start getting their ass whooped and they start crying. You know, trolling ain't the problem. Trolling is not the problem, Dr. X. Not getting your ass whooped is the problem. Now, when I see on social media they doing all these people fighting in the street, I'm so glad to see that, man. I'm so glad to see people putting on boxing gloves and fighting in the street, because people people have been taught, and I hate to do this, but I don't hate to do this when I say this. Uh, a lot of y'all mamas taught y'all that y'all could say whatever the fuck y'all want to people and not get your ass whipped. So you got a lot of people in society who run around running their fucking mouth or doing whole ass shit and like, yo, none, can't nobody tell me nothing. Okay. And when I say that, and I ain't just talking about the blacks. No. Even when you see this on social media and these white, like all these white people, all these Hispanic people, all these racist people, even them, all of these pseudo I'm supposed to be smarter than you people. If you notice, they are so smart that they want to talk to a person to their face like they're beneath them when that person can break their fucking face. That's how stupid people are now. People will insult you on the internet and try to insult you in your face and act like I shouldn't have my teeth knocked out. No. If you were so smart, you'd be smart enough to keep your mouth shut when you see this person gonna fuck me up. Yeah, that's what happened. It's the same thing when I say you got all these what do you call them, fake fake advocates. All these people who are should I say social advocates? But all these people acting like they gonna pontificate their whole life away. Your parents taught you I can use my words and I'm powerful because I use my vocabulary. If you don't shut your stupid ass up, you know, you said, assault is not illegal. You know when assault is illegal? When witnesses come around. Let me just say something. I'm the type of person that say, listen, if I gotta get into it with you, I'm gonna knock your ass out before people pull their cameras out to record. We're not even gonna get to the point where it go, by the time you say, let me get my phone, your ass is asleep. By the time the crowd say, let me get my phone, you out of there. That I ain't even gonna be arguing with the people like put your phone down. I'm gone. I'm gone. But this is where we're where we're at. Like you see a society, is it boom? Yeah, boom pop. It's the same. It's that same thing. You see it over and over again. You see these people. They want to play this. I'm smarter than you game. You know, social media is about that. Oh, I'm above this. I'm above that. Like, man, don't get life twisted no more. Because a lot of our parents taught us wrong. See, a real parent is gonna prepare you for the world, not their ideal world, not how the world should be, not how Oh my God, huh, you should be like this. Like, look, man, if that's how you want to be like that. But understand, in the world, this is how people get down. You know, that's what felt. Yeah, that's what I felt about weed. Look, bro, oh boy, if I was about to say something, Fam, I'm gonna tell you something that's honest to me. I don't understand people who drive drunk. I'm not never saying I haven't done it before, but I probably did it twice. I don't understand people who drive drunk and who drive high, especially the high. Especially, I don't understand a motherfucker who could get in the car, smoke in the car, roll the windows up or down, have the whole car and street smelling like weed, and just driving like bitch, like you ain't finna get locked up. You know how fucking stupid you gotta be to smoke weed and drive. See, if you drunk and you drive, as long as your ass stays straight, it's gonna be as long as you don't swerve, people ain't really paying attention to you. But if you high, it like I hate to say this, but I'm a hood nigga for real. Like, do you know how stupid a motherfucker gotta be? You get pulled over and you be like, man, when people say that's what the fuck you think you get the dirty cops and the dirty cop scenes in the movies and the people get pulled over with the I smell weed from. That's where they get that shit from. They follow niggas smoking weed, and when I say niggas, I mean niggas specifically, because when white boys do it, they don't give a fuck. Hispanics be drunk driving all. Hispanics and Asians, they drunk drive like a motherfucker. But white boys drunk drive like a motherfucker. With the high shit, white dudes do it. They don't give a fuck. Well, if your black ass is getting high and driving, you gotta know you're a felony waiting to happen. You're a fucking felony waiting to happen. That's how you know you got too comfortable. That's how you know you got too comfortable. You ain't a street nigga. I don't like, and that's part of. I would say that's part of rap culture that got people fucked up. That when people thought rap culture and thug culture and gangster culture was the same, no, because rappers definitely are the type of niggas that'll get caught. They're definitely the type of niggas get caught. Cause they was on camera everywhere. Just let me smoke, nigga, that's dope fiend action. So they had a chick on social media today, rolling up in the back of a church. Like, nigga, that's dope fiend action. That ain't good shit. But but I got to go back to the whole family aspect. Sometimes I know of it. I know the families like that. Back in the day, the families that had the alcoholics and they would drink in front of you. Hey man, you want to get a little sip? We giving kids alcohol. You got motherfuckers doing the same thing with drugs. You doing drugs in front of the kids. You smoking in front of the kids. You just it's good. No, it's not good, G. You arguing in front of the kids. You fighting in front of the kids. It's like, okay, you better remember that's a bad idea. See, all of this shit I'm talking about in the sense of even when America talks about American family values, motherfucker, America never valued family. That's some bullshit people say. We value. No, the fuck you don't. America values family businesses, not families. Don't you ever fucking get it twisted. We're Americans. Get the fuck out of here. Don't nobody know what the fuck that means. But I digress. They don't value no family. Don't get it twisted. America never listen, man. White families historically don't know if they family or not. And that's a reality. There are a lot of people who think they're Italian, or think they're Greek, or who think they're British, or who think they're Irish, or y'all don't really fucking know. Like, especially white America, that's why they don't know what they don't really actually know because they was doing a lot of cheating back in the day. White cheating and white people, white women and white getting pregnant by different white guys while their boyfriend and husband raised them. That's been a thing. That's been a thing. I'm Irish. No, bitch, you Italian. your granddad was Irish. Your step granddad was Irish. Your real granddad was Italian. That's what it was, you know. No, like if I'm gonna be honest, even when it comes to like Indian, Asian, Arab families, let me tell y'all, the hustle that they the way they do business is America gonna subsidize me to get a business, and I'm gonna fuck it up and I'm gonna pass it on to somebody else, and they gonna have to pay for it. That's how they do business. That's literally how they do business. They're no different than everybody else out there. Well, think about it. If you think about an Asian or Arab business, the stereotypes of those businesses, what? I hate to say that, even a Hispanic business, they're not clean, they do shady business, and it never actually gets better. It's always like consistently dilapidated. You get what I'm saying? It's just because, it's rare to see immigrant groups of people upgrading business to the point where, let me, since I live in Houston, like Johnny Dang. Johnny Dang went from the mall to a suite to a whole damn jewelry store that used to be a club. You know what I'm saying? You rarely see that. Usually don't go that way. Usually it's a janky spot that they just try to bleed so they ain't got nothing left. And when they start losing money, they sell it to somebody for, to pay off their debts. And the person think they're getting a good business deal, and they got screwed by their own people. That's normally how they go. See, other groups of people just don't say that shit. That's the only difference. They just don't say it. They don't say, damn. I bought this business from my own people, and now I'm $75,000 in the hole. They're not going to tell you that part. They're not passing on good businesses the way people think they are. They used to be good businesses. They're not good businesses anymore. But shoot, let me get out of here, man. Let me get out of here. I've been on here damn near 2 hours, man. I might see y'all tomorrow. So like, share, subscribe. I hope this was informative. Catch you on the next one. Peace.
It looks like a job for Superman.
Do this,
Spoken from the lips of the young or the old, fear of me.
Yeah, gotta put it all in.
And they are Superman.
All the way. I guess I'm taking off the cake through the glasses in the trash. Being super is great, saving y'all is such a drag. Even God took the break, me I ain't coming back. I got one life to live, if you don't like it, that's your ass. Cause nobody saved me, plus when I walk I'm just a peon. I could use somebody just like I'm the kings of neon. This world is cold as ice, mixed with salt, mixed with freon. They got me pissed off, but that's better than being peed on. For eons, human beings took kindness for weakness. When you constipated, you start to appreciate shit. Put before you life and death, and you just gotta choose. The kryptonite life means you should follow the rules. If your credit's messed up or your bills ain't paid, then it's getting disconnected. Can't nobody say the day. And I can fly, leave a building in a single bound, but I can't stand fair weather friends, and I just fly around. My super friends in Justice League, only folk I kick it with. Kill Lex Luthor, so what? We had to finish it. Kids play games and adults play for keeps. And joke, then again it ain't this serious. Superman can say the day, but God can say the Superman. Saga of the kryptonite life just ended. You enjoy listening? Man, I finished it. Lois, come holler at me. I got an ice couch. Thank you for coming out, listening. I knew you would like it because we made it. I'm so frigid and so fly.